This topic has to do a couple of topics, property taxes and the school system here in Frisco. Property taxes are among the lowest in the Metroplex here in Frisco, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One, I tell people that Frisco is a master plan city with a bunch of master plan communities. I mean, just really a remarkable concept, all envisioned by George Purefoy, our city manager of 17 or 18 years. Brilliant visionist and strategist in terms of employing all the different pieces of the Frisco puzzle. One thing you'll notice in Frisco, of course, the tollway, Dallas Tollway goes through Frisco, and there's a business park that'll run all the entire 8 miles of the tollway. And of course, all the business that's generated there, we benefit from, the city benefits from that revenue. Whereas some neighboring cities, their industry, their tax base was primarily built around manufacturing and the telecom industry. And of course, we know what happens to those. So that revenue was taken down, whereas Frisco is more diverse in their business climate and culture, and therefore we get more revenue offsetting our property taxes. So that's highly important. We've got 4 professional sporting venues, and so the crowds that they draw are pretty remarkable. IKEA alone draws 12,000 shoppers a week. Carrie Underwood was in concert here last year along with Jimmy Buffett, the Margaritaville guy, and obviously those two people bring a ton of revenue dollars to the city. So there are all kinds of components like that drive our taxes down here. Now, for those of you out of state who have lower property taxes, it's important for you to know that we don't have a state income tax. So that is an offset, a nice balance. I think if you're doing some estimates or figures, and of course one of our specialists can help you drill deep into this, but I think it's fair for you to assume a 2.3% property tax rate. It's probably going to be less than that, but we like to shoot a little high to manage your expectations. I tell people we want your pets to be house broke, not you. So even taxes, we try to manage those to keep your payment and equity objective intact. But I tell them just average 2.3% times your purchase value or your estimated purchase value, let's say of $200,000, and just divide that number by 12, and that'll give you your monthly tax number. Secondly, I'm going to address the school system here. Now, there's a lot of data in the real estate guide that you'll receive from us or may have already received, a lot of good website data about the school system here in Frisco. I find it quite remarkable. In Texas, the school system is designated 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A based upon the size of the school. Frisco has committed to only having 4A schools, which means that in the entire school there may be 1,600 people on average, whereas a 5A school may graduate in one senior class 1,600 to 1,800 students. There's schools in the Metroplex that literally kids have a hard time switching from class to class because there are so many students at the break. To put it in perspective, I mean, I grew up in a 3A school, small town up in the panhandle of Texas. It was so small, I was in fact voted most handsome. So that'll put it in perspective. And I was an athlete, and I played baseball, football, ran track, the whole bit. But if I had grown up in a 5A school, I probably wouldn't have done anything but got in trouble. And so what we love to do is keep kids busy, allow them to be in a competitive environment, whether it's arts, academics, athletics, whatever. And that's the whole concept. And within an 8 by 10 square mile radius, we're going to have like 8 high schools. It's a real tribute to the leaders of Frisco and the visionaries of Frisco to do that on behalf of parents and kids.